guys, and welcome to our new movie review segment where I will be reviewing a recent film I have watched as well as take suggestions for future films to rate and review, so stay tuned. But today I will be reviewing a Christmas movie since it is Christmas time, and this particular film was released last year back in 2019. It stars Game of Thrones Emilia Clarke and the dreamy rising star Henry Golding. The title is also the title of a 1985 song by Wham. It's Last Christmas. Yay! Now, Last Christmas, in case you haven't seen it, follows an entitled Kate, played by Emilia Clarke, around London as she's trying to not only avoid her overbearing mother, but use men and her friends as sleeping quarters to avoid going home. She even goes as far as to bring men into her pregnant best friend's home, destroy her friend's dioramas, and out her successful lawyer sister to her parents.
You're Kate, or whatever your name is now, because you're ashamed of who you are.
Oh, I'm ashamed of who I am. What about you? Where's Alba?
Shut up.
On your big celebration dinner, where is your girlfriend?
Elba? Elba is Martha's flatmate.
Yeah, and that's how it's always going to be. I bet she's really happy about that.
Did I mention she's a bit entitled? Anyway, in order to support this lifestyle choice, she's working full-time for Santa. And not Santa Claus, I mean this Santa. Kate is working as an elf at a year-round Christmas shop in between her auditions to try and become a singer. That is, until this phoneless man named Tom, Henry Golding, eventually shows up, and he's always got his head in the clouds telling Kate to look up, his infamous catchphrase. This will later serve as a metaphor to not just physically look up, but be more positive. Don't be looking down or negatively at others or the world. Fast forward to the end of the film, and it turns out Tom is phoneless, not because he's some old school hipster trying to live in the moment, but because he's, spoiler alert, a ghost. And the only reason that Kate can see him is because she was the recipient of his heart after he was hit by a bus, eventually dying. Tough way to go. But before Kate can discover all of this, she tries finding him at this homeless shelter he said he volunteered at, and she can't find him because he's, dead. And eventually, she sees that her life isn't all that bad. And instead of becoming a singer, she directs a fundraising show for the shelter, and she learns that the world does not revolve around her. Now, this movie was very reminiscent of director Bonnie Hunt's 2000s dramedy Return to Me, where a man falls in love with a woman who he later discovers was the recipient of his wife's heart. But there are a few key differences with Last Christmas, including that the guy is, dead. And it's British, it's got more comedy, a selfish character as opposed to a sweet one, and of course, Last Christmas is Christmas themed. So if you're looking for a cheesy Hallmark film that's not a Hallmark film, has some better known actors and a bigger budget, Last Christmas is definitely the film for you. The story isn't exactly about Christmas, it's about Kate learning to accept her illness, her family, her culture, as we see on the bus, where she fully embraces her native name of Katarina, and she learns that the world is not out to get her. She truly does learn to look up, as it says on that special park bench where she sat with Tom. I personally would rate this movie a solid 7 out of 10, but overall it got a 47% critic score on Rotten Tomatoes and an 81% audience score, which honestly makes perfect sense. This isn't exactly a cinematic masterpiece by any means, but it's a cute story centered around the song Last Christmas and reminding us all that the true meaning for the season. I believe critic Clarice Lowry said it best in her review. It's a star-studded rom-com that plays like an expensive Hallmark film. So to summarize, don't go into this movie expecting an Oscar nom. Go into it expecting something heartwarming, a bit silly, and new to watch this holiday season. Have you seen Last Christmas? Leave your opinions about the movie below and let us know what to review next. Remember to like, subscribe, and we'll see you next week.